Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Time. I'm Sean. So I got some Marvel news for you guys. Ant-Man has been doing a lot of casting announcements over, I guess you could say the holiday break. They announced that Paul Rudd was going to be playing Ant-Man, and that was what they said. But now they've announced that Michael Douglas is playing Hank Pym. How can that be? Well, that can be because what it is Hank Pym is going to be played by Michael Douglas. That's going to be probably played in the future as an older gentleman, of course, because he's an older gentleman. But it's going to be taking place in both the past and the future, past and the present. Michael Douglas's character Hank Pym will be probably having flashbacks of him in the past as Ant-Man, and Paul Rudd will be playing the new Ant-Man, Scott Lang. He'll be taking over for Hank Pym. So that's pretty cool. It makes sense. I actually kind of like how this is kind of going to turn out. It seems like they're going to have two guys in there that different type of actors. Michael Douglas can play any part, any character there is. Great actor. Paul Rudd is good. He's a really good actor in his own right, and he has a little bit more of a comedic style to him. So that can possibly change the relationship between the two. It can be a nice dynamic. So that's cool. I like that, and it's going to go back from the past when Michael Douglas's Ant-Man was going around kicking butt, and now in the present. So that's cool. Also, there's talks that Michael Pena is going to be he's in talks to sign on for the film. I actually like this news because I think he's a really good actor. He can pull off a lot of characters. He can do serious film. He can do comedy. I've always been a fan of him. He was in one of the more recent movies I watched. He was in 30 Minutes or Less. He played the gangbanger, and then he also was in End of Watch, which was a great movie. That was a serious role. So both right there's two different roles. You got comedy and serious. He's also coming up in this movie about Cesar Chavez, and I'm really looking forward to that movie because that is the area of where I'm from. So I'm looking forward to him in playing that role. So I really trust him as an actor. I can't wait to see what dynamic he brings to this trio of actors right here with this movie, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to start filming this spring, and I just repeat that I'm really excited about this film. Also, more Marvel news. Ben Kingsley, I talked about how they said that he was actually doing a one-shot for Marvel, and that's what the news was. That's what he was doing. They've actually released a clip about the one-shot. So I haven't watched it. I'm not going to watch it because I don't want it ruined for me, but I will put a link down below so you guys can check it out on the Marvel website. Alright guys, I also talked about The Naked Gun a few weeks back, about how it was going to be Ed Helms in the movie, and he's playing the Frank Drebin character, and it might be a reboot. Well, it looks like they're calling it a sequel as of right now. Screenwriter Ben Garant just said in a recent interview that what they're calling it is Episode 4, A New Hope. That's for all you guys out there, you fans of the Star Wars films, the trilogy. I'm just going to say trilogy. The New Hope was Episode 4. It's a great movie. So that's a nice little homage to that. I like that. It's really cool they're doing that. It is a working title as of right now, but it's going to be more as a sequel instead of a reboot. So Ed Helms' character would be introducing himself as Frank Drebin, and not as something else or anything of that nature. It's just going to be straight up, he's continuing the character of Frank Drebin. So that's pretty cool. To me, either way it goes, I'm still interested in the movie, whether it's a reboot with Ed Helms starting it all over, whether they follow some of the same storyline or not. That really doesn't matter to me. But it is interesting that it's getting some momentum, and it's getting a lot of eyes are on it, and it's making the news. So I like that because I definitely would like to see this happen. Alright guys, so awards season is here. The year 2013 is over, and all the movies that have come out are now put up on the chopping block to be decided. What's the best and what's the worst? Some of you guys think, what does he mean, what's the worst? Well, they have some awards called the Razzies. They happen every year. They kind of are the exact opposite of the Academy Awards. And what these awards are the worst movies of the year 2013. It's pretty cool, actually. In the past, I think it was Sandra Bullock won a Razzie for Worst Actress the same year she won her Best Actress award for The Blind Side. Just things like that. It's really cool. I'll put a link to the Razzies down below. Also, you have the Golden Globes just happened. I'll put a link to those winners as well. And then you have the Critics' Choice that just happened. I'll put a link as well to those winners. But the big fish in all of this is the 86th Academy Awards. They'll be airing, I think, in February, and that's the real one where you wanna. That's the one where you wanna win the awards. So I'll put a link down below. Let me know what you guys think. Who are you guys rooting for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Actress, Supporting Actress, all those types of things. I will say this: it's pretty cool that Bad Grandpa was nominated for an Academy Award. So I did see a couple trailers this week that caught my attention. Now, these aren't going to be movies that win any Oscars next year, but something to tide us over during these winter months. The first one was an Elizabeth Banks movie called Walk of Shame. It looks pretty interesting. She goes to a club, leaves the club, hooks up with a guy, and has to do the Walk of Shame, and essentially the whole next day is her Walk of Shame. Looks interesting, and Elizabeth Banks, you can't go wrong with her. Good comedy, good actress, and a delight for the eyes. So the other movie, and now this one, I never saw the first one. I guess you kind of get the sense of what the movie is just with the trailer, and that's all you really need. Some people do go see this movie, did go see the first movie, and will go see this movie, but I probably won't. It's Haunted House 2 with Marlon Wayans and that whole group of people that did the first one, and they're doing this one, and it is a spoof again off of all the Paranormal Activities and those types of movies. So that one, it seems funny. I mean, just with the trailer, and I think I got the taste of it, and I can move on to my next spoof movie trailer for the year. But that's about it for the trailers I saw this week. In theaters this week, we got two movies I'm interested in. You have Ride Along with Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. And that one looks pretty interesting. Kevin Hart's been on fire this last year and a half or so, been making tons of movies, and he's been put in a lot of these movies where he's opposite somebody playing this buddy cop or in the role of the comedy relief. He's doing a really good job, and he's a funny guy, and I look forward to this movie because it looks like it's going to be funny. I'm probably going to wait till it comes out on DVD Blu-ray to see this one, though. The second movie I'm interested in is a reboot of sorts. It's Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit, starring Chris Pine, Kevin Costner, and I think Keira Knightley. This one looks really interesting. It's a second attempt at the reboot of the series, the Jack Ryan series. The first reboot attempt was the Ben Affleck Sum of All Fears. You guys might remember the Jack Ryan series from back in the late 80s, early 90s. Alec Baldwin played the character in Hunt for Red October. Then you had Harrison Ford in The President's Men and Clear and Present Danger. And now you have Chris Pine taking over the role. This one looks really cool. It looks like real Splinter Cell kind of stuff, and I really want to go check this one out this week, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Alright guys, so movie of the week this week was a movie that's been recommended to me to go see for a while. One of the guys that I listen to a lot, to get a lot of, inspires me with what I do with movies, recommended this to me through Twitter, and I finally saw it this weekend. I'm happy I did. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Last Stand. This movie, you know, Schwarzenegger's coming back from being governor. He hasn't really done much, and this was his first, you know, his leading role coming back, and he's supposed to, you know, carry this movie. And this movie, it did really well in the sense that it was able to capture that action from the 80s and 90s, but amp it up, and it was able to not be too serious, keep it a little bit lighthearted, and I like that. So the story of the movie, the plot, is pretty fair, pretty plain and simple. A convict escapes, trying to get from where he's at, where he escapes in Nevada, to the Mexican border to get back into Mexico. He's he's like an heir to the cartel, to one of the cartels. So that's pretty much the story, and what it happens is he has to get through Arnold Schwarzenegger's town. They tell him that that's the last stand, essentially. Arnold's character Ray is called upon by Forrest Whitaker's character in the FBI, and he's told that this guy is going to be possibly going through, and he's warning him. He doesn't think they could do it, but Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to put up a fight. He's not going to let this guy go through his town, not while he's on watch. and I really liked this movie. That was the story essentially for you. From there on, just action ensues. A lot of good, not good actors, but a lot of actors I like to see in movies. Johnny Knoxville's in this movie. I like him as a side character in a lot of movies that he's played. He's done a decent job at that comedy button type stuff. Luis Guzman, he's always a nice guy to be in a comedy. He always makes me laugh, puts a smile on my face, and it's this one he's actually carrying a little bit more weight with his character. No no pun intended on his Luis Guzman's weight. Then you have Lady Sif herself, Jamie Alexander, and then you have a couple other people that I recognize. I don't know one of the guys' names. He was on the show Friday Night Lights. He was the quarterback that replaced Scott Porter's character. I really like him as an actor. Everything he does, he has this little charm to him, but he usually plays the same character. In this one, it's slightly different, but I still like him in it. But overall, I like the choice of the actors in the film. They represent well in their respective characters. They do a good job. Like I said from the beginning, this movie is action. It's lighthearted. It's comedy built in with the action, and it definitely should have made more money in the box office. I think a lot of people judge this movie based on Arnold's history and what was going on at the moment with his maid and having an illegitimate son, and a lot of people not believing he's a good governor or not. I'm not saying I believe he's a good governor or anything, but I think a lot of that came together, and that made a lot of people not watch this movie. So I wish they wouldn't have thought that way about the movie, and they would have gone see it. They would have had a good time in the theater. This was a really good movie, I thought, and it's definitely a movie I'm definitely gonna recommend to my friends, and I'm probably gonna watch again. This to me was one of those movies. It kind of reminded me of the movie Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen, just a little bit over the top, but at the same time, a dash of funny and known actors, and just kind of like that good feel to it. I really liked it. I think you guys should go check it out, and you guys will definitely have a good time. You'll laugh your butts off, and you'll be like, wow, that was crazy how that happened. You'll have a good time. Alright guys, so that's it for Movie Time this week. Remember to click the like, share, subscribe buttons down below. Leave your comments, questions, and suggestions for Movie Time, Movie of the Week in the future in the comment section down below. And remember, let's have a great conversation this week. We'll see you next time.